Thank you. So guys, last week, 2 weeks ago, we finished God is love, right? We've been talking about the characteristics of God. We finished God is love. Last week we started God is... No, last week.
Sovereign.
Last week.
God is sovereign.
God is sovereign.
Sovereign.
Okay. How many of the 11th and 12th graders can tell me what sovereign means? Or who was here last week?
Okay. Oh, no, I need a pen.
Oh my goodness.
Here.
Ishi, somebody lend me my pen. Ishi.
Pen?
Thank you.
If you don't work, try this one. Or try this one.
Who is it?
Maybe this one.
Hey, paano hindi sila?
You
guys put two chairs over there so you guys can listen. Okay? Okay, so, guys, today we're going to talk about God is sovereign or God is powerful. Please be respectful. Okay? Please be respectful. Sovereign means all-powerful or the most powerful. Okay, God is the most powerful, all-powerful. Does anyone need the spelling of sovereign?
Oh wait, we wrote this down last time.
S-O-V-E-R-I-G-N. Okay, sovereign.
Sovereign.
Spell it again.
S-O-V-E-R-I-G-N.
Wait, what? Goofy ass.
Okay, God is sovereign means God is powerful. So we finished talking about how God is love. Today we're going to talk about how God is powerful. Xavier, hayal ang laking doon. Huh? The date is March 6th? 4th. 5th?
4th.
Okay, 25th.
You said the 25th.
I just said March.
You said 25th.
So
I just said that.
So guys, be quiet.
Oh, no.
Fanuel, literally, there's a video. I'm gonna post this at the end of YouTube. So please, YouTube, yes. All right. So God is powerful. If God is powerful, we talked about this last week. I'm just reviewing. Okay, but there are a lot of people who weren't here last week. If God is powerful, why do evil things happen in the world? If God is powerful, why do evil things happen in the world? Abraham.
Because he must create the evil.
Okay, he must create the evil.
Because like of our free will, so he doesn't want to like.
Our what?
Okay.
Our free will? Yeah.
Wait, I was in a character.
No, go ahead. No, you're right. You want to think about it a little more?
No, I know what I'm going to say. Like we talked about this before. It's like because you know how like everything happens for a reason. Like our free will lead to like something bad happening. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to like stop it all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's right. Fanuel, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say what she said.
Okay. Question or answer?
I was questioning, like, what about like natural disasters and stuff, like tornadoes and
Yeah.
hurricanes?
So why do those happen sometimes? You guys know?
What happened?
Like why do bad climate-related issues happen on Earth? Yeah. So a lot of listen, guys. A lot of natural disasters occur because of man-made problems. By the way.
What about the ones that don't? The ones that don't.
There are reasons for the ones that don't. Okay? But the majority, listen, let's stay focused here. We'll get to that, okay? But the line of thinking is God created the world and God created humans. I don't know. And we talked about this before. And then God gave humans free will. Free will, right? And free will means our ability to choose to do good and evil. We have a choice to make. Alright, so we can either protect the environment and take care of it, or we can destroy it. Which through a series of events leads to bad things from happening. You guys are distracted. Alright, and then the human beings can, through doing evil things, that can lead to evil in the world, basically. Lord, please. Okay? Alright? obviously, whenever there are bad things that happen, so we're gonna talk about how then on the next week, our focus will be God is just or God is fair. So we will hit on some of those topics of like why, how, what about when little kids who didn't do anything wrong can get cancer, or what about when there are disasters that are like like God allows disasters to happen on earth, like all of those things we'll get to next week when we talk about God is fair and God is just. Because remember, when we talk about everything from now on, we've already established that God is love. That part does not change. We're adding and teaching you guys different characteristics of love, different characteristics of God. So the fact that we said God, Nahum, what are you doing on your notebook? What are you doing on your notebook? So God, when we say that God is powerful, God is sovereign, God is just, we're not changing the fact that God is powerful. Alright? So why did God create free will? Do you guys know? Because that's a question people ask all the time. I think some of you have asked me this before. Why? Somebody else. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Thanks.
Well, because God's fair, so like if he doesn't create free will, he wouldn't be fair.
That's sort of right, but there's another aspect of that I'm looking for. So why did God እግዚአብሔር ራሳችን መርጠን መልካም ነገር ወይ መጥፎ ነገር እንድናደርግ ችሎታውን ሰጥቶናል, right? Why is that? Why did God give us free will? Yeah.
Learn from mistakes.
Okay, that's kind of true too, sometimes. So we can love him by choice, but why though? Why doesn't he force us to love him? Abid, why do you think?
Because he can. I mean, he can.
He can, but why
It's his
though?
world.
Why doesn't he? Why does he want us to choose to love him?
Do we? I don't.
Think about it.
Oh, because like
Think back to Carabas.
forced love is kind of like like sex slavery or something like that, where it's like you're forcing someone to love someone, which isn't really love. So you give them a
That
choice.
is, and that's spot on. Right? I've never actually thought about it like I've never thought about it in that sense before, like in the human sense, like sex slavery. Or, I'm not, but I mean I think it's a very extreme way to show you guys that forced love is not love. So God wants us, because He loves us and respects us, He wants us to have the choice to love Him. So if we choose to not love Him, that's our choice. We have that choice. We can live in the world the way we want. If we choose to love Him, that's obviously preferred, right? That's better, because we can live eternally with Him. Alright? We talked about the example of the prodigal son when we talked about God is love. I don't know about the guy who said he wanted his inheritance and he chose to depart away from his father, right? Remember we talked about that story. Alright, it's the guy in the book of Luke, in the Gospel of Luke. It was a dad who had two sons, and the younger son the dad was very rich, and the younger son said, I don't want to live with you anymore. I just want my inheritance, and I want to leave. I don't want to be with you anymore. So what did the dad say in that story? Who remembers?
You let him go?
He let him go.
Do you?
He didn't just say, do you? He actually gave him the inheritance. He said, if you don't want to live with me, and all you want is your inheritance, and live in the world and do whatever you want to do, here you go. And he gave him his inheritance, and the kid left. Alright? Because the kid had no desire. He had no desire. That's the same thing with us. If we have no desire to get to know God, if we have no desire to live like a better life spiritually, God is not going to like force us against our will. If we're trying, if we're making the attempt to walk closer to Him, then He will push us. Then He'll pull us. But if we're like, I don't want you in my life, He's not going to force Himself upon you. It doesn't mean He stops loving you. It doesn't mean He stops creating opportunities for you to learn, right? From people, from your loved ones, from your friends. He'll still continue to interject Himself to try to give you clues to turn back. But He's never going to force you, because we've got free will. Okay? And again, people can use that free will, Abed, people can use that free will to do evil and bad things. Okay? Yeah.
Like some people think we kind of don't have a choice because, like, if we do love God, well, obviously we're going to heaven, but if we don't, then we're going to heaven.
That's your choice, though. That's the whole thing, right? That's your choice. I mean, that's by choice is the whole thing. Like, basically, life is a big test. You guys could all have to take tests in school, right? Life is like that. It's a test. The only thing is, God is fair and loving, so He gives you the answers ahead of time. He's like, these are the answers. Here's how you're supposed to live. It's in the Bible. Here are exactly, this is what you need to do. You can literally have the answer key, and people, that's what happens in the world. People have the answer key, and they still mark the wrong things. And then at the end, they get an F, and they're like, why? It's not fair. I'm sorry. You got the answer keys. You had the right answers. I don't know. Does that make sense? Huh?
That happened to me.
Like how?
At school about it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it. Never mind.
What? You already did.
You can share it. It would be a good for us.
You already told us you did it, just like you might as well.
Okay, so I was finishing a test at lunch. And my teacher told me to go to the room because it was in the lunch detention room. She told me to go to her room to get a calculator. So this is 8th grade, so it doesn't matter. No school. And I went, and there laid the answer key to the test. So I was like, okay. And I had it on the test, and I was like, I have to make it realistic, so I missed some on purpose, and I missed too many, and I got a 77.
I have to make it. That's sad. We have
Okay.
bonus points to make.
But yeah, that's kind of kind of an example. I'm not suggesting that you guys copy that example of trying to find the answer.
I haven't done stats though, and I don't.
Thank you.
And that's my old life.
I know. New leaf. Okay. We talked about a verse. We talked about this verse. There are a lot of artists in this room. Maybe we should have an art contest.
Yeah, we should. Brooke is the best one.
And
We'll have an art contest. Jonas is like still being his pretty. Can you please start the page? I was being sarcastic. They're like, oh, let me show you.
I mean, it makes it like fundraise.
We can do it.
We can sell it.
Okay. Romans chapter 8. This is a verse. Romans chapter 8, verse 28. We've said this verse like 10 times in this class.
So, have you already wrote it down? Have you already wrote it down?
Romans 8:28. Last week's I'll not sure.
Verse what?
Verse 28. Chapter 8, verse 28.